Guys, welcome back to Entertainment Experts. I got a new guest with me today, my friend Kurt, and we're going to talk about the Indiana Jones franchise, and we're going to talk about the new movie Dial of Destiny, and I give ourselves our reviews and our honest opinions. So I'm going to let Kurt take it away from here about his opinions about Dial of Destiny.
Yeah, so I watched it on July 1st. I watched it in a PDX theater, so it was a pretty good experience all around. My initial thought of the movie was it was a decent enough movie. If I had to rank it, it'd probably be like six and a half out of 10. I mean, for nowadays standards, I thought it was a nice attempt with the CGI for the first scene. I liked the idea. I don't know if I liked the execution of it. I mean, it was kind of throwing me off. I mean, obviously with CGI, you're gonna find some issues and inconsistency and stuff. Like there's some times like him running on the train's moving faster than his legs are moving, he's zipping across the train. That didn't look too great. But I like the attempt to bring the Indiana Jones back that we all loved and knew. Um, as of the rest of the movie, I feel like it was a little long and drawn out.
Yeah, this is the
I
longest Indiana Jones film, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really drawn out. There was a couple of times where I'm like, you guys just keep doing the same thing. They set it up, they get caught by the guy, and all of a sudden they're on to the next thing and they get caught by the guy, and then they're on to the next thing, they get caught by the guy, and then finally they get their way in the end. But I feel like they could have gotten rid of a couple of those steps there. But at the same time, it was also really important to develop the female character because if
Elena?
yeah, if they didn't have that much time to develop her from going as kind of like a spoiled bratty kid who was all about the money to actually caring about Indy in the end, I don't think you would have got that in a shorter movie. So, I mean, there's pros and cons to the length, but I would have preferred it to be a little more to the point. But I don't know if we would have got the same character development.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. For me, I enjoyed the first like that first opening sequence with the CGI Harrison Ford when he was younger in 1935, I believe, fighting the Nazis. Sequence felt like 45 minutes. Like some points in that sequence, it felt good. Like I love the scenes where he got captured and the bomb just came through the building. That was great. But when it got on the train, it kind of went downhill. When he was talking, he sounded like old Harrison Ford, not the younger Harrison Ford.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's a common trope in Indiana Jones films that you have to have new characters, but in this movie, you really don't. I really don't like the conclusion of Basil Shaw and Helena Shaw. I feel like Disney just put them in there just to make new characters, make new money with the new Hasbro action figures. And they also like the actor Phoebe Helena Bridge from Solo. She played the android, the what was it? She played Lando Calrissian's droid in that movie, and Disney liked her, so she was given like a little like A+ for that. So let's put her in the new Indiana Jones movie. I mean, at times I did like her as a character, but at other times I thought she was annoying little brat. Like
Yeah,
sometimes in this movie, it didn't feel like an indie film. Like sometimes I felt like it was a Helena film, and I see that comment sometimes like, oh, like kind of pushing like Harrison Ford forward to the side. Yes, I can see that because like some of the times in this movie, you're chasing after Helena. It's not like a Harrison Ford focused movie, like
yeah.
the indie films are. But in this movie, it tells a good story about old Harrison Ford and what he has to deal with and why him and Marion got divorced and the grief and loss of their son, which I also did not like as well. I
Mm-mm.
like Shia and Kingdom of Crystal Skull, he gets a lot of hate, and he also got a lot of hate because of stuff he done outside of films. But he is Harrison's son, well, not Ariel Harrison's son, but he's Indy's son, and he did great in that movie. And I honestly would have loved him back in this film. I felt like he would have done better than Helena Shaw. It would have made sense for him to be the one running away from his father, trying to make money and try to discover himself as an archaeologist, like he was trying to do in Kingdom of Crystal Skull. But it's like I know Disney doesn't want to hire him back because of his issues, but he's made some good indie films over the last couple of years, so I wouldn't mind seeing him back again. And also recently, Karen Allen came out saying that she wanted more of a role, but she isn't like Harrison Ford that can still kick it at 82 years old and move around
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, no, I definitely think what makes this an okay movie and not a good movie is the fact that It didn't feel like Indiana Jones. I mean, if I remember correctly, there's one scene where he uses the whip and it's just to like keep everybody back at the auction. Like, I mean, yeah, he goes back for his hat. He's wearing his hat, yada yada yada. But it's not Indiana Jones. I mean, there's one trap when they're there in the cave. I mean, they run into different problems, but it's not like traps and the kind of like Indiana Jones kind of
Feel.
motif. Yeah, like feel like yes, at the end, like it was a cool closing scene, him grabbing the hat and whatever, but it wasn't enough indie. And I know he's old, so he can't really do that kind of thing. But I feel like the most indie we got was in the CGI. And um, I mean, we only got it for 25, 30 minutes, however long it was. And yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it was missing that Indiana Jones kind of feel. I don't think it was a bad movie if you're just like going to see a movie, but if you're looking for Indiana Jones, he's not in the movie.
Well, here's the thing. We got a new director with this. We got James Mangold, who hasn't like he's directed some good movies. He directed Ford versus Ferrari, which I love. He's directed Logan, which is a great film. But this is just not his good piece of work. I think they should have brought back Steven Spielberg because that Steven Spielberg flair is tied in with Indiana Jones. That's what it fails at. James Mangold's trying to replicate that, and it's just not working. It works at certain parts of the film, like the beginning. Yes, you have that Indiana Jones feel, but at times in this movie, you're wondering, oh, where's the puzzle at? You only get one puzzle in this film, and
Yeah.
we don't get to see Indy use his whip as often, or we don't really get to see much of Indy's action sequences. We see him a lot of him running away per se, but we really don't get him like kicking Nazi's ass like we usually seen in previous films. But I
Yeah.
gotta give credit to this film. This film is a lot like kind of darker than other Indiana Jones films. Like the Nazi
Mm.
villains, I gotta give Matt Mickelson credit. He's one a great villain. He's done great jobs, and
Oh
them
yeah.
just killing his colleagues just off the bat. I was like, geez.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is where we're going. And then even killing his friend on the ship, I'm like, okay, this is different.
That was crazy. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if he brought Salo with him, he probably would have died. So that was a good way not to bring him. But the one thing I was missing from this film is that all of Indiana Jones films, the sidekick villain and the main villain dies a horrific death. We didn't get that in this film. We just see him die in a plane crash. And I was like, well, I'm kind of disappointed about that. In Raiders of the Lost Ark, they get burned by Guy with the faces. And Temple of
Yeah.
Doom, guys gets his art like eaten by alligator. The third one, The Last Crusade, they drink the Holy Grail wrong and he burns and disintegrates. And then Kingdom Crystal Skull, a guy gets eaten alive by ants and the lady gets burned by too much knowledge. But we just don't get that here, which is pretty.
Yeah. It was very unfulfilling. I mean, they shot him and then he just lays down in the plane and then you see the plane go down. Like it's just like for the length of the film and the investment in that villain, you'd think that there would be more of like an ending for them, but they focus more on Indy being shot, Indy meeting the philosopher and Indy's struggle with wanting to stay
Yeah.
and uh Helena trying to get him to go. They focus more on the Indy Helena there rather than the villain, even though I think this villain was really good.
Yeah.
I think they made him really well. I think his motivation and his goal was
Really.
uh it was good. It was very unique. You don't really see something like that. And
Yeah, you don't see a Nazi making fun of Hitler. You don't see that.
yeah, yeah, no, no. And him trying to go back in time so that he could take over and do things correctly
Right.
is is really interesting because you'd think he would just want to go back and try and do things right, but not be in a position of power. But he wanted to take over completely, which puts him on like an even more dangerous and ups the stakes a lot more.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I like how they did with time travel here. I like how it's not like the Back to the Future time travel where you go back in time. I like how it's like Prisoner of Azkaban time travel. Like it's
Hmm.
set in time no matter what, and no matter what's not like it's like always set in that time period. Like Archimedes set this up so he can go back in time to teach him about the dial so he can make the dial himself, and that he's always had the same watch as Matt Mickelson had, which is pretty cool. And I actually liked the ending where like they're basically like foreshadowing in the beginning because Indy was talking about the Battle of Syracuse and then finally go to Battle of Syracuse. And I
Mhm.
like the whole scene where Indy's basically having like his like whole depression and grief saying like I want to stay because my adventures are over now in the 60s. Like it's not my time period anymore. I'm like ancient and there's not many kids in my class. Like
Mhm.
this is like the space adventures. This is not like archaeology, history major stuff. This is more science based. This is not my field. I'm getting outdated and out old. And I liked how he was just trying to say, I want to stay. Like this is mine, is what I like. But I also like how Helena punched him, knock him out, because I would have been mad if he actually did stay in the past.
Really, I feel the opposite.
Really?
I feel like she should have granted Indy
Hmm.
the piece of staying there. I mean, what is Indy all about? Like that is his ideal ending. Like he even said, like that is what he dreamed of. Like his dreams were consisted of that, and him being actually there instead of having to dig up old stuff and be the archaeologist and look at books and textbooks and theorize about what happened. He would actually get to be there and answer some of the questions he's always had. I mean, he's 82. How much longer has he really got? I mean, I'm glad that he got to fix his relationship
Yeah.
and have kind of like a family back together so he's not that sad old man. But at the same time, it would have been a I feel like it would have been a proper Indy send off if they let him stay. Like how I mean, I'm not trying to speculate, but this is probably his last Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah.
Um,
He come out and said this is the last one.
yeah, I didn't see anything about that, but I'd hope so. He's getting too old. But if they were gonna try and make more Indiana Jones and have someone else as Harrison, I just feel like it would be kind of boring to say that, oh yeah, he just passed away, he was old.
Well,
Like
yeah. Well, the thing
like
I don't want Indiana Jones to be like a James Bond. I don't want a different actor playing Indiana Jones after Harrison dies. I want Indiana Jones to die with Harrison because like we don't really see that in the movie industry or entertainment business. We don't see a character die with an actor. When I think of Indiana Jones, you think of Harrison Ford. Like
mhm.
I feel like if they went with the ending where he stays back in time, you could have had like a Chris Pratt, Matthew McConaughey, or even like Bradley Cooper type Indiana Jones in that time period. And
Yeah.
that might have sold a couple millions, but it wouldn't have that same feel like Harrison Ford would have. And I
Mhm.
like the ending because I like seeing Indy and Marion together. Like I like seeing that relationship come back and rekindle, saying that we both are having our issues. We just need to come back together. And I like the little subtle like call back to the first one saying it hurts on his elbow, like the same thing like what she did. I said, oh, it hurts on my elbow. What he said in the first film. That was a great callback. But
Yeah.
it's a decent ending, but it's not as good an ending as Kingdom of Crystal Skull. It's like there's elements in this movie where it's been good and it's nice to have it back, but I think Kingdom of Crystal Skull has a better ending for him.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's just I feel like with how dramatic the movie was, I feel like it was too wholesome of an ending. They made it so kind of like morbid and depressing. And I mean, it's good to see it like come full circle and it work out for Indy in the end. But I just feel like it was missing some kind of like hitch or catch or something like that that would, kind of leave the audience with something else.
Yeah.
I don't maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just twisted, but I don't know. Like I feel I wish like something else happened, so like a sprinkle of something in there. I
Yeah.
mean, and I feel like it was kind of comic when she punched Indiana Jones. Like I feel like it was such a an abrupt switch. Like he's out and then he's back home.
Yeah.
And like in the middle of him like arguing with her, there was no resolution to that. I mean, it was a funny twist. I don't really dislike how they handled that, but I don't know. I feel like it was kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah, I guess so. But the thing is, I wish we had like a grieving time period with Indy dealing with the loss of his son. Like I felt like you just saying that doesn't really give it like grief. You just point that out there. Like I wish we got like a maybe like a funeral service where him at his gravestone like dealing with the loss of his child. And like I would have made it better, or even make him like with the dial, maybe like try to go back in time and talk to his son, saying, "Don't do this, please." It's like don't.
Mhm.
It's like you have the
Yeah,
time. Yeah,
like he called to in the movie. He was saying like if you can go back in
yeah,
time, at what would you do? He said, "I'd tell my son not to join the army."
yeah. So like that would be a perfect way of like maybe ending it and maybe having like him changing time and Shia's actually there at the end. In my opinion, that's what I would like to have an ending of Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny. But here's also my main problem. I am not a fan of Teddy. Teddy was an annoying ass character. He was basically the worst version of Short Round, if I had to be honest.
Hmm.
I'd rather have Short Round back in here. Even though he's a grown ass adult, he would be better than Teddy.
Yeah, no, Teddy was definitely they were grasping at straws there to try and figure out how to get a third character to kind of be the mediator between the two. And he's pretty bad. It was pretty bad. I like his flight skills. I like how they were able to sprinkle that in the movie, him practicing how to fly there and asking the rich guy how to fly, and then he's obviously able to fly. But like after that first scene, seeing him practice to fly, I'm like, oh, this kid's gonna fly at some point.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
um,
I honestly did not like how like all the press tours saying like, oh, we didn't have enough time to bring in like the older characters back. Like, yes, you could have. You should have gotten rid of Helena. You should have got rid of should have got rid of Teddy. You should have gotten rid of like all these new characters. You could have brought them all back, and they would all made sense.
I don't know what the catch was there. I don't. I mean, it's I don't know why it was in their best interest to just throw random new people in when you're trying to make a nostalgic Indiana
No,
Jones movie. When
yeah,
you're advertising, oh, it's Indiana Jones young, and it's the Indiana Jones you love, and Harrison Ford's 80, but it's still Indiana Jones. Let's just throw new people in here and mess everything up.
yeah. It's
Like,
every advertisement. Oh, the legend returns. Your famous Indiana Jones. Like, yes, this is an Indiana Jones film, but it just like we said earlier, does not feel like an Indiana Jones film.
yeah, it has Indiana Jones in it, but it's not an Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'd give this like a 7 or a 6.5. It's still a good time for Indiana Jones fans, but like there is some criticism to this. You can definitely tell Disney had their little twine in there saying like what we can't do, what we can do, but like there's just some things I wish were done better and execution wise, which they should have done better. But honestly, in my opinion, this is my least favorite out of the franchise, but it's still a good conclusion for the franchise. If I hopefully pray to God they don't make another one without Harrison. If they do, there's gonna be some riots probably.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's how I would rank this one. But let's head into our next segment. How would you rank all of the Indiana Jones? Since we start with Dial of Destiny, I guess we'll go from release order though. So how what's your opinion on Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Um, I mean, you can't really disrespect the OG like
Yeah,
that. You can't really do that to him. But I'm gonna put this at two.
two. Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of that film? Because I like this film's just so iconic and it just has so many great shots in my opinion. Like I love the opening sequence where he gets the totem and the boulder chase after him. And I also love like there's multiple great fight scenes in Indiana Jones. That's why I missed in Dial of Destiny, but I love the fight scene where Marion's in the plane and where he's fighting the big Nazi and the Nazi dies to like the propeller and it's just
Mhm.
great. Like I wish we got more of that in Dial of Destiny, but that's one of my favorite scenes in that movie.
I mean, it's got to be the Boulder, right?
Yeah, the boulder. Boulder's
It's
just so
got
iconic.
to see. But yeah, that one's at two for me.
For me, honestly, I'll give that two as well. It's just so iconic. There's so many like great things in that film. And it's just cool to see Indiana Jones. But now let's talk about the prequel, Temple of Doom. A lot of people don't actually like this film because it's a lot darker than most Indiana Jones films. But I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put this one at four,
Really? That's pretty.
mostly because not because I don't really like it, but because I don't really recall it. I mean, I may have watched it when I was like 11, so I don't want to be too rude to it. I don't know if people enjoyed it, but I don't have a lot of recollection of that film, so I'm just gonna put it at four and try to be safe.
I mean, your favorite director is this is his favorite indie film, so Quentin
Yeah.
Tarantino. This is his favorite film out of the whole franchise.
Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I got to go back and watch it today.
It's a lot darker than most Indiana Jones films. Like when they're eating at the palace, they're eating monkey brains and all this
Mm.
stuff. And like the beginning, like Harris, like Indy's character just throws a spear and the guy just lights on fire and he dies. But I mean, honestly, there's some goofy scenes in this film, and I personally enjoy it. Like in the very beginning of the movie, we see that the plane's going down and they jump out with the freaking raft and they just glide down and go on the mountain, which is pretty cool. But there's also a lot of dark moments where the villain takes out people's hearts and burns them, and like it's a PG film that wouldn't be a PG nowadays.
Oh,
No, but I agree. I love this because I think Indiana Jones has his best companion in this film, which is Short Round, and they just worked so well together because Short Round respects him and Indy respects him, and Indy would have died in this film multiple times without Short Round. But the only issue I have with this film is Kate Kipshaw, which is Steven Spielberg's wife, and this is her first major role. It's not her fault that she's not really that good in the film, but she kind of like weighs it down. But honestly, I give this like I'll probably put this in like the third place because it's still a great time. I still love it. But let's head into The Last Crusade.
so I have one, three, and five open. I know what my one is, and I know what my five is, so it's got to be three.
Okay, three. Well, I want to know like what's your favorite moment? How do you feel about Sean Connery coming into the mix?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I
Okay.
couldn't. I mean, Temple of Doom and Last Crusade are kind of just like meshed together in one memory of me. So I couldn't really tell you like. I mean, Raiders of the Lost Ark obviously was so like I guess revolutionary in terms. So
Yeah, it was
uh,
like the first best, like it was the best action adventure film that first ever came
yeah.
out.
So that one like really stuck with me. But Temple of Doom and Last Crusade kind of just blend into one kind of eh,
All right.
for me. Just because I wasn't really I mean I wasn't around for when they came out and kind of living in that time. So
Yeah.
they weren't really films that I took a big liking to.
Right. I mean, a lot of people think The Last Crusade is the best one, and for me, I would have to agree because I love like I love the banter between Sean Connery and Harrison Ford. I love the father and son relationship between them two. It's just so great. I love the tank scene where Indy's trying to save everyone, and it's not it's all practical effects, no CGI. And that's the one thing the Dial of Destiny does wrong. It's too much CGI, not enough practical effects.
Real explosions.
Yeah, real explosions, real like real fighting, and just like practical effects. It's just not CGI, and that's what the one issue movie has nowadays. Too much CGI. We need practical effects more. We need more like models and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
honestly, this movie has the best like chemistry. I feel like the best action, and in my opinion, like the best like moments in Indiana Jones film. Like the tank scene, like I said earlier, and I love the Holy Grail scene, and I honestly like the beginning where we learn more about young Indiana Jones, where River Phoenix when he gets the whip, how he gets his scar, and why he's afraid of snakes. That's
Yeah.
also really great about this film. And I also love Marcus in this film. Marcus is just great, and how like India said to like one of the Nazis, like, "Oh, he can blend in anywhere," but he's just trying to speak English in Pakistan, and he's just not getting along with people. And
Yeah.
Marcus is just a great character. But honestly, I put this number one. It's one of my favorite Indiana Jones films, and I think it's the best action adventure film. But let's talk about Kingdom of Crystal Skull, and this is where a lot of people thought Indiana Jones should stop, and I agree. And Indiana Jones, I wish they made more movies of him in the 90s or early 2000s, but we got the late kind of 2000s. But I want to know your opinions and what did you think of Kingdom of a Crystal Skull?
So it is my number one. I'm going to put this at number one. No, all those Indiana Jones OGs are going to be mad at me for me saying that, but like they started with Raiders of the Lost Ark. The first one I ever saw was this one. So this is the one that made that impression on me. This is the one that sold Indiana Jones to me. And then I went back and watched those other ones as I got a little older. But this movie um is just how I see Indiana Jones. So I don't know if it's really I guess I'm a little blinded here by like
Nostalgia.
by the movies. Yeah, by nostalgia because this is one that like hits home for me because that's just the one I grew up with. Like that's the one that was on TVs. Like I had Indiana Jones with, but it was from watching this movie. I was playing the Lego
Yeah, Lego
Indiana
game was
Jones
fun. Yeah.
games. I was at home playing it. I was at my friend's house playing it. We all were sold on Indiana Jones, but it was this Indiana Jones. So this one is just important to me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to put it one because Dial of Destiny is definitely not one. So
Like
I think that's saying.
what okay, so since like you talked about why it's so important to you and why it's number one, like what are some scenes that like stood out to you that made you like really enjoy Indiana Jones, which made it so nostalgic for you?
It's not even the movie. It's just the culture around it. I remember like my
Yeah.
friends and I playing around and we're whipping each other with sticks, saying we're Indiana Jones and stuff. It honestly, this movie could be terrible. I need to go back and watch it again because it could be the worst Indiana Jones movie, and I wouldn't know because
The thing is, I saw Dial of Destiny, and right when I got home, I watched Kingdom of Crystal Skull with my dad, and we were both diehard Indiana Jones fans, and we both looked at each other and like saying, "This is a lot better film." Like I don't remember it being this good, but then we just watched it like, "Wow, this is like actually better than what we thought it was." I think it aged better over time. I think people were just being a little bit too harsh. And this movie also came out during the same year The Dark Knight got came out, so I might have some shade. But
it's
this movie still made a lot of money in the box office. And when it came out, I still had a lot of hype around it too. Like when Dial of
Mhm.
Destiny's out right now, you don't see the hype. You don't really see people saying, "Oh my God, Indiana Jones is back." Like there's like the diehard Indiana Jones fans are saying that. But when this movie came out, people were like saying, "Oh my God, he's actually back," and saying like this is so cool to watch. But
Mhm.
personally, like some scenes that come back to me is the iconic like bomb at Nuketown where it's just him standing over a nuclear bomb. That's iconic. That's a cool scene. And then
Yeah,
him just fighting the Soviets all the time. Like he's actually kicking the Soviets' ass. Like the
yeah,
beginning montage, like I don't like the character Max, which is like his like friend that he had during the Cold War, where he's always switches sides like from the Soviets to American and back to Soviets. Max, the only right thinking guy in the whole beginning sequence. He's like he's just looking at Indy's like he's a crazy man. Like Indy is a crazy man. He's taking
that's
around
crazy.
he's kicking ass of 100 Soviets in Area 51. And it's just so cool just seeing him just jumping around boxes and just kicking people with his whip and actually using his whip in this movie to jump around to place to place. And
Yeah.
it's so fun. And you still have that punching sound effect that sounds great. And I
Mhm.
honestly loved the homage to the beginning too, because George Lucas is also part of this film. And I don't know if you know this, but he like directed American Graffiti in the very beginning scene. There was like this is during like the time period is American Graffiti, and it's just like old teenagers just want to race the Soviets, and that was a nice little cool homage. And then another great scene, in my opinion, is when the big bad Soviet and Harrison are fighting each other. And Harrison looks good in there, even though he's like
Yeah.
60. He's legit throwing like some sucker punches, and he's still getting dealt with too. It's like neither of them have an upper hand. But
Yeah.
that's a great, and the ants don't even look bad, even though they are CGI. They're like realistic enough where I can like, oh, see, like this is actually kind of concerning. And a 6-year-old me in the movie theaters watching the ants eat alive a freaking soldier, that's gonna leave a scar on me. Still leaves a scar to me today.
Yeah.
But it's still a great time. And I think honestly, Shia as Mutt Williams gets a little too much hate. I know he was a problem on set because him and Steven would get in arguments, but him as Indy's son, him coming in with his motorcycle and that motorcycle chasing through the whole college campus, that was fun. That was something I
Yeah.
really enjoyed. And Indy not knowing him that he's his son, that he's like a college dropout and saying all this, and Harrison just hyping him up, and then Marion finally telling him that's his son, and then he does a full 180, like starts being more strict to him. And
Mhm.
when they start getting that forest chase scene when they actually fight together, it's just amazing to watch, and I enjoy that connection because it's just fun to watch all these characters finally have that charisma and like chemistry together.
I think that's the type of reaction they were trying to get in the newest movie
Yeah,
with Helen. I feel like that's kind of the duo interaction that they wanted. And I don't know if they got that. I mean, they only really worked together on the plane.
they've only
I
really
mean,
worked together.
and the boat when she blew up the boat. But then, oh, what really hurt me was when they were reading the tablet that they got from underwater
Yeah,
right before they blew up the boat.
yeah,
The guy on the boat just watched the direction they went to, and they didn't throw him off at all. She went through all that. She lied to him. She blew up the boat. They got away, and he's like, "Oh wow, they're going west. Let's
yeah.
follow them. They're not going where we told them to go." Like you didn't trick them. They're right behind you. They got to the caves, and they're right there in the caves. They get there too. It's I don't know. It just to go to such great lengths. It was such a good
Yeah.
trick. I like you knew that she wasn't going to tell him the truth as soon as you saw the dynamite. But like the fact that they let them catch on so fast and they just followed them there, it just like, oh, I don't know. I feel like they could have done more with that.
Here's also the issue with that. In the previous Indiana Jones films, that would have been Indy doing that trick, not Helena.
Mhm.
So that's my opinion why people were saying this is more of a Helena Shaw main focus film than Indiana Jones. And I agree because when you think about it, it's just Indy chasing her, trying to teach her the ways of being a good archaeologist. That's basically this whole film is. It's just teaching
Mhm.
her the ways of how to be the right archaeologist, how to put things back into a museum, and how not to do things. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get an announcement, oh, Helena Shaw, the new archaeologist of the Indiana Jones franchise. I wouldn't be surprised about that.
I I was just about to propose to you. Could you see a Disney Plus exclusive Helena Shaw TV show, 8 episode series?
Well, the thing is, they try to do something like that. Like we all cherish National Treasure, and National Treasure is kind of like Indiana Jones, where
Yeah.
it's like where it took the place of Indiana Jones in the early 2000s when Indiana Jones was absent. And
Mhm.
like we grew up on National Treasure, The Mummy, and Kingdom Across the Soul.
Yeah.
But they tried to do that earlier this year with a spin-off Disney Plus series, which the new National Treasure, which got canceled after its first season. There were some good episodes, but there were some bad episodes. But we know how Disney is. We know that when they want to make cash anywhere. So they might honestly do that Helena Shaw thing you were talking about. But also the thing is by that is that there's gonna be some OG Indiana Jones fans saying you're ruining the magic, so don't even touch it. And the thing is, I think Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, and Paramount have to sign off to that as well because that's their property as well. It's not just Disney's. It's like you know how they can keep on making Star Wars because George Lucas sold the right to that, but
Yeah. And
this is Lucasfilm's, Paramount, and Steven Spielberg's property. They can't just do anything with it. They need the permission from them to actually make the project.
yeah, I feel like the newest movie was already a step over the line.
But
And
yeah,
if they were to start flooding stuff in with more and more and more indie, it's gonna ruin the feel of the old
franchise. I feel like
of
yeah,
the franchise, and you're just gonna take away what makes indie. Like there there is like value in less. Like the more rare something is, the more value it holds. I mean, when something is one of one, you can charge more for it. And that's kind of what the older movies are. And I hope this newer one doesn't take away. I mean, it kind of already has. It already tainted the franchise as a whole
yeah.
because the more you make something, um, it just depreciates value. So like, yeah, I don't know. The only exception is Fast and Furious.
That's not the only
They
exception.
can make they can make 20 more.
They
I
make
don't
them bad.
Nah, the new one was good. The new one was good.
We saw it in freaking 4DX, so that's why you thought it was good.
The coolest movie ever.
I gotta admit, guys, 4DX is a great experience. I highly recommend spending that extra maybe couple bucks you have to go see a movie in 4DX. It changes the whole movie experience. But
Oppenheimer 40X at Stonecrest.
true, but I heard it's like a horror movie, so I don't know how about that. Yeah,
I'm
a lot of people are saying like it's like a horror movie more than a actual thing like that.
like as well.
Um, thing is, Steven Spielberg wanted to make a 007 movie. That's why he made these movies. That's why there's some homages to 007 in these films. And honestly, like people are saying they want a new Indiana Jones actor, but like I said earlier, we just don't need that. Harrison Ford makes like Indiana Jones. Like we saw in the Solo movie, that's not the other actor's fault that it didn't do well. It's a decent film, but it doesn't still have that spark that Harrison Ford had with Han Solo. Like
Hmm.
you saw what happened there. Like he's a good actor. He did his best job at replicating what like Harrison Ford did with Solo, but we saw what happened there when it's not the same actor, and it kind of bombed. And I'm gonna ask you now, why we think Dial of Destiny is bombing in the box office, and why are other movies bombing in box office as well? Because I have my opinion, and well, I'll start it off. There's not really a time anymore in movies where there is a good break. Every month has like maybe 3 to 4 movies now where people have to go watch and see. And movie theaters are not cheap. They are expensive, where you have to pay at least 14 to 20 bucks for a ticket. And then you also have to pay for food, which is another like 15 to 20 bucks. So you're basically working for a full week and then you pay most of your paycheck on a one movie ticket. So
Yeah, no. So when I was actually at Dial of the Destiny, um, we were getting food and drinks. I went to Target before and got 99-cent candy and snuck it in and a Coke. But the people we were with were going up to get stuff. They got a water and a large popcorn and a thing of M&Ms for $23.
yeah, no,
That's more than the ticket cost by itself
yeah,
for 3 food items. And like it's not, since it's not the only way to see a movie now, you got to adapt in some way. There's got to be some change in the movie theater industry
yeah,
um to to get people back in seats. I mean, I like there's some membership programs that are
yeah,
good.
yeah. I like the membership programs. Like we see movies at Regal, Stonecrest, and also Stone Theaters needs to up their game. I mean, I'm sorry, like Stone Theaters don't have like they do have cheap movies, but thing is about Regal has this promotion where they do $18 a month and you can see up to like three movies, but they're standard movies. They're not PDX, they're not 4DX, which is the issue with their like subscription based pricing. 18 bucks is not bad for a month, but when I go to a movies, I want to see it in its best format. I want to see it in PDX, 4DX, or IMAX. That's how I want to see movies. If not, then I might as well just wait till it comes to a streaming service at home.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like there's got to be some sort of adaptation to theaters where it entices people to actually show up to the theater.
Yeah.
And I think the issue with the subscription is a lot of times there aren't 3 movies out that people want to see. And like for instance, if you're a kid, right? And your
I mean,
mom wants to buy
I think
what?
June's been a good month for movies though. Like there's been
Oh
like
yeah, yeah. For us, for us.
well, there's Across the Spider-Verse that came out earlier this month. Well,
Yeah, so you get the subscription. Say a kid wants to go see that new Elemental movie.
yeah,
What are you doing for the rest of the month? Like maybe Spider-Verse is still showing. I'm sure it probably is.
it probably is showing. It's showing because it's making a lot of money.
Yeah.
Well,
So
you got the Flash, you got Elemental, you got Dial of Destiny, you got Cross the Spider-Verse.
yeah, but see, the it makes more sense for us because we would go watch all of those movies. But for people who are very specific in the type of movies they want to watch and who maybe only want to see one movie that comes out every 2 years,
Hmm.
They're not gonna pay for that subscription because they can just pay whatever it is for Netflix or Hulu and watch all their favorite movies all the time and get all these exclusive movies that all these streaming companies are making.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the solution would be personally. I
I mean,
think there I
did they
feel
not,
like we're just missing more movies.
we mean miss? I feel like we have too many movies.
I think it's the other way. I think there's way too many sequels and trilogies that people are just trying to grab out of nothing. I think people are they're latching on to nostalgia way too much. There needs to be new original movies. When is the last time you saw like a good original comedy movie coming out?
our comedy movie or like just a
A
normal movie?
good original comedy movie.
No Hard Feelings. That was actually good.
Oh yeah, yeah, I heard that one was good. See,
Actually,
but that's one example. But when was the last time you got like um a Grown Ups or any of the Adam Sandler movies
well,
or
that comes straight to Netflix now. That's the thing.
that's what I'm saying. There's no like I feel like there's no like original. Now you're just getting, oh, blah 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 part two, oh, blah 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 part three. And yeah, you're getting those return customers back, but you're not getting new butts in the seat. No one's gonna go see Dial of Destiny if they haven't seen at least one of the other Indiana Jones. Like Dial of Destiny, I don't think is getting new kids
No.
into Indiana Jones. It's for the older generation, which I feel like
Yeah,
is the issue. There needs to be more originality. Everybody keeps going back, and then all these Disney reworks, the live adaptations, all the updated stories for all these Disney's things.
yeah. I mean, the thing is, what was it? The Little Mermaid flopped, but it's doing okay overseas. And Dial Destiny flopped, but now we gotta wait for Disney how the Haunted Mansion is gonna do. I mean, the Haunted Mansion looks good, but I was a
Hmm.
big fan of Eddie Murphy, but it's another remake of a certain thing we already seen. Like Disney did
Yeah.
it best when they did the Pirates of the Caribbean, but they also made so many parts of those where it also died out. They should have stopped
Mhm.
at three, but they had to make Stranger to Tides and Dead Man Tells No like the chess thing.
Yeah.
Also, there's still good original content coming out. Like Sound of Freedom, I saw last night. Great movie. I think a lot of people should watch it because there's a great meaning behind it. But
Hmm.
I'll make a review about that later. But I don't know if you're gonna see it, but it's about child trafficking and it's a pretty emotional film, but it's actually really good. Um, it's just there's been some good original content lately, but coming up you have Barbie, Oppenheimer, and Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part One. There's the part again. You having so many Mission Impossibles, but like you see Across the Spider Verse now it has Beyond the Spider Verse, and then you have all these Marvel movies that you need to watch everything to keep up with,
Hmm.
and it's just like it's just weird. And then you have Disney just promoting like Disney makes all like Pixar said this after Elemental flopped. Like they said, since Elemental flopped now, we're just gonna make ours straight to Disney Plus because we get our fan bases just can't come to theaters. And I personally agree with that. They should be straight to Disney Plus because I feel in this age of cinema and entertainment that there is not a proper adequate for children to be at movie theaters. I feel like parents have gone away from teaching them how to act. In a movie theater, it's if you're in a group, yes, you can whisper to your friends and talk about the film. But you can't take a 3 or 4 year old who's crying during the whole film and just screaming during the whole film. I had an issue with this with the Batman when I went with my dad, and there was like these two like 6 year old kids that were just screaming for a 3 hour long movie, which is almost this movie was supposed to be rated R, but it was PG-13, but
Yeah.
that gets passed.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think Disney Plus is definitely the way to go because mostly parents are just sticking their kid an iPad in the kid's hands, giving them Disney Plus, and they sit there and watch whatever. It's not like on the weekends they go and go watch the movies. I remember like most of the movies I've seen was like with my grandparents. Like my grandparents taking me to the movies. Like that was like a normal thing. I'd be going like a play date with your friends would be going to see a movie. You'd have friends who had birthday parties at movies and like the little birthday rooms. There's like arcade games there. Now you go to the movies, it's a wasteland. There's nobody playing the arcade games. There's nobody playing the claw, nobody on like the little motorcycle and stuff. No birthday parties going on. Like kids have left the theaters. And I don't know why that is. I guess it's because everything's available online and parents don't have to bring their kids into a public place.
Well, I think the movies actually did good with the kids with Mario. I think Mario brought the kids back, and I think Barbie can bring the kids back too, because all the little girls are gonna go want to go see Barbie.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no,
I mean, movies have been doing a lot better the last few years because I feel like Maverick brought back people because Maverick made a ton of money post COVID, and then there's been a lot of movies that have been making a lot of money. Like No Way Home made like maybe like it was like one of the most profitable MCU films, made like a 1 point something billion, and
mhm.
it's been a good post run for some movies right now. I think. Well, the issue is you have three gigantic movies coming out in July. You have Mission Impossible that's coming out pretty soon, but then not even like 5 days later, you have Barbie and Oppenheimer. So, how
Mhm.
are you going to have all these people coming into the movie theaters when that's like a $20 for each ticket? Because you're going to see
Exactly.
it on IMAX and 4DX, which is expensive.
Yeah, if you want to get the full thing from the film,
Yeah,
then you need to pay the price, which is terrible because it's double what people are paying for streaming services for one movie, for one experience. Now, the experience, like what we paid for Fast X was
yes,
100% worth it.
yeah,
100% worth it. But I can't say that. Imagine we went in and it was actually a terrible movie.
hmm
And we wasted all that money, we wasted all that time, and we're left feeling kind of
yeah.
empty.
Well, I also feel like the experience elevated the movie as well, because
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely.
we both came out of it saying, "Oh, we had a great time," but then we after the movie we look at the reviews and like everyone's saying, "Oh, this is pretty bad. We didn't like it," but we like, "Oh, we had a fun time," because each time the car moved, we were jumping out of our seats. So
Yeah.
like, I wonder how. I mean, honestly, I wonder how 4DX is going to be with Oppenheimer when that bomb goes off. But we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, I better be dead.
Yeah,
I'm,
but
I'm I have to see that 40X. I love Killian Murphy.
uh, yeah, he's great. I wonder, like Christopher Nolan even said himself, like if you don't see it in an IMAX enhanced theater, then you're wasting your experience, you're wasting your money. So like, yes, you're gonna be spending money on these movies, but you know you're gonna get a great product because you know it's Christopher Nolan at his best. Yes, he didn't do great with Tenet, but you know he has a stacked cast with Oppenheimer, so we
Mhm.
don't know. And it's gonna be like what we're gonna put down like $80 for these next three movies that are coming out, and that's
Yeah.
a full day at a job making like what $10 an hour.
Mhm.
Yes, movies have been getting expensive, but let me know, what would you watch first? Would you watch Oppenheimer and Barbie or Mission Impossible first?
Oppenheimer, then Mission Impossible, and then Barbie. Even though Barbie actually looks funny, I just wouldn't want to be a grown man walking into a Barbie theater alone. So
There's gonna be so many grown men walking into Barbie though. That's the funny thing. It's
yeah, maybe.
like that same trend that happened what during COVID with Minions when everyone was so
Yeah,
excited for that came out. It's giving that same vibe. It's like
yeah.
everyone's just got attached to that film, so we're gonna go see it because it's so
Everyone wants to go see Margot.
yeah. I mean, there's some theories about Barbie right now saying it's like a continuation of the Lego movie. Cause like Will Ferrell's in there and he's like that's saying that's his real time job and he comes home to play with Legos. That would be a cool little Easter egg, but
Ooh,
I don't know about
that's
that.
interesting.
But I don't know. Like there's been some good movies this year, but there's also been a lot of bad movies this year. And also the thing is, action adventure movies, they're not existent anymore.
Mm-mm.
Like the last action adventure that wasn't Indiana Jones was Uncharted. And the movie did good in the box office, but was not received well by the Uncharted fans.
Yeah, because
Ooh, yeah.
it was based off a video game. So you're gonna have those diehard video game fans that are expecting something perfect, and maybe it wasn't in their eyes. I don't know. I've never played Uncharted, but if it doesn't meet the Uncharted fans' expectations, they're just gonna overrule everybody else's opinion and tank the movie down.
Yeah. But it still did well in the box office though. It made a lot more money than it like did. Like in my opinion, like Uncharted was a fun movie, and then I played all the Uncharted games afterwards, and the Uncharted games are way better. Yes, I agree with that. But the movie is still a great time, I feel like. But it's like video game movie, guys. Like you gotta realize like some of that stuff is not gonna be realistic.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely.
And then here's why I also like going back to why I think that Disney flopped is the last time an Indiana Jones movie came out was 2008 and it's 2023. It's been 15 years since we got any Indiana Jones content. Like if
Mhm.
you're not at Disneyland or Disney World, you're not gonna get Indiana Jones content. Because I know there's a ride in California, and then I know there's a spectacular show or Orlando. So you're not getting spoon-fed Indiana Jones 24/7. You have to go
Yeah.
out of the way to go to one of the Disney parks to actually get the content. But I am excited though because the creators of Wolfenstein, the best people that made Fallout, are making an Indiana Jones game, which is interesting. It takes place from in between Raiders and the Last Crusade, so that should be an interesting game. Hopefully, it has some fun stuff to it. I mean, I'm gonna play it. Uh, I don't know. That's all I have to say about the Indiana Jones franchise. Hopefully, they just let it die in peace now. I don't think there's a
Yeah.
need to
Just
make
just
another
just let
one.
it just let it rest. Just let it rest. Just let us enjoy indie. The one good thing about Dial of Destiny coming out is that people who liked Indiana Jones will now go back and watch the other Indiana Jones because they're like, oh no, this is terrible. Let me go watch some real Indiana Jones. So they'll give people that joy of going back and rediscovering their love for Indy. Maybe not in Dial of Destiny, but the other four movies or other three movies.
I want to see the analytics and engagement because like even maybe before Dial Destiny fans were probably rewatching all the Indiana Jones films. Like I
Yeah.
want to see like the analytics from like May through like July to see if like the engagement of Indiana Jones movie sparked and Disney Plus and on Amazon Prime because I know you get Paramount Plus included with Amazon Prime. I just want to
Mhm.
know the engagement and analytics to that. And also, like, there's also already a Indiana Jones TV show called The Young Indiana Jones Adventures. There's that came out during the 90s. No one really watched it. And it was just like there's some stuff like no one really wants to talk about it. But there's really no need for a Indiana Jones TV show because we already had that. And I don't want to see a Helena show. I don't want to see a Teddy show. I don't want
Yeah.
to see any of that. Maybe they have like little shorts for them. That's fine, but I don't want to see any shows. I mean, the only thing I can see possible of them doing a show maybe is bring Short Round back and like because he's been getting a lot of popularity and getting a lot of popularity because he just won an Oscar award for his best supporting role in the new A24 film, Everything Everywhere All at Once. He was great in that film. But the only thing I can see Disney trying to do is make a cash grab with him as being an archaeologist doing his own adventures. But I don't know.
Yeah. Quick little side note. Any news on Moon Knight or is it actually done?
Moon Knight. I know me and you both enjoy it more than most people, and honestly, I think it's the best Disney TV Marvel show. That might be a hot take.
So good.
Uh,
Loki though. Loki. We'll have to wait for the new Loki.
Here's my thing about Loki. It's okay, but I think Oscar Isaac carries a Moon Knight, and he has such. I mean, it's a great time, and it just has to deal with his like it's like split. He has dual personalities. He has his one side where he feel like he was abused by his mother and he wasn't loved, and he has all that depression on one side. So that's why he's so scared in life. And then you have the other one who's just a kill hungry guy, just a soldier, which would make the show so good. And I love we're talking about Moon Knight, but where I loved where we went he went back in time and saw he had to deal with all those depression and issues. That's like one of my favorite episodes. And him realizing that when he was like dead and like
Yeah.
the goddess things showing him his
The
memories was awesome.
best, the best part is that they waited so long for us to figure out what in God's name was going on.
Yeah.
It was 8 episodes, right? And like episode 7, you finally figured out. Like you were sitting there the whole time. I remember you and I were talking like even after the episode was over, trying to decipher and figure out what is possibly going on.
Yeah.
It
I
was,
mean, you need to get on that Secret Innovation wave. Secret Innovation is actually really good. I know you don't have Disney Plus, but I think you can log in through mine. But Secret Invasion is really good. I mean, I think Nick Fury's a scroll. I don't think he's actually. I think he's actually dead. I don't know. That's my theory. But I mean, I've been enjoying Marvel right now, but I can go back down because like there's so much Marvel stuff right now. Like there's some good, there's some bad, and Disney. I think Disney just wants to make money. Like
Yeah.
they also need some tax write-offs. That's what they also just did with Crater. I don't know if you've seen Crater, but it was on the Disney Plus original movie. It started some good little like it started like good children actors, but they took it off because it wasn't making enough money. That's also the problem with streaming services movies. Like it's not released to DVD, so you don't have a physical copy anymore. So if it goes straight to streaming and doesn't come out on a physical copy, they can just take it out and you won't ever see it ever again.
Yeah.
And that's a big issue. That's why like I recommend go and get a physical copy, but I know those are expensive too. That's like $15 or $10 down the drain just to get a good copy of a DVD. But besides that, like I don't know. Like I mean, I'm excited for James Gunn's like new DC, but he did come out. Like, how do you feel about Henry Cavill getting recasted? Because I don't like it. I think Henry Cavill should have stayed as Superman. I liked him as Superman.
Yeah. I don't know. I keep seeing stuff on my TikTok about it. I haven't really looked into it. I keep saying like, oh, he's so dreamy. Oh, he's so handsome. Oh, he's literally a Greek god. But I haven't seen anything like about what's going on with him. He just keeps popping up. So I guess something's up.
I mean, also like I know you like. All right, let me give you a little info about my co-host here. This man watches everything off TikTok. He doesn't watch anything off any streaming services. This man
Yeah.
waits for someone to post it on TikTok and watches all the parts in one.
Yeah. I watched 213 parts of Puss in Boots, so
Yeah,
I admit
that's
it.
that's probably like what your favorite animated movie of all time or something.
No, but it was pretty good. It was pretty good. It was kind of a pain in the butt scrolling through all because like there's like 15 seconds where it overlaps, so you're only getting like an extra 30 seconds. It was a rough time, but it was a good movie.
Yeah, yeah, but you probably haven't seen Cross the Spider-Verse shit. I assume.
No, not yet.
I
Not
mean, I
yet.
think it's good, but
Maybe I'll go movie hop after I see Oppenheimer.
I mean, yeah, are you gonna movie hop from Barbie to Oppenheimer or Oppenheimer to Barbie? That's the real question.
Uh, Oppenheimer to Barbie. I want to see Oppenheimer really bad.
I mean,
I've been wanting to see Oppenheimer since
it got announced
we
probably.
went and saw. What was it? Was it at? Um,
Yeah.
oh, way before that.
When
Um,
what movie have we seen in theaters?
was it Venom?
Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. We
Yeah,
we have opinions about that. We think that's a good movie.
I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah. I thought it was fun. I didn't think it was bad as making people making fun of it. I think Tom Hardy does a great job. But
I love Tom Hardy. Yeah, I think it'd be good. But yeah, no, I think it was when we saw that. It wasn't even like a full trailer. It was just like 726, Oppenheimer, Cillian Murphy, Matt Damon, and that was it. Like that was the whole thing. I'm like, yo, what?
it's that cast. I'm excited for Oppenheimer, but I guess we just have to wait and see for that. I mean, I think we're in good for right now. We're eating good as movie fans.
Yeah,
And
no, we got some good content out for right now. It was kind of dry there for a little bit though. I
when
feel
when was it dry? I'm trying to think.
between like Ant-Man and Fast X.
I mean, we got John Wick though. You can't really
Oh, yeah, John Wick. I forgot about John Wick. That was a good one. That was a good one.
John Wick. I mean, we also got the new Scream movie, and I mean, there's some diehard Scream fans
I
out there.
haven't even watched any of those, so I can't really say. I know Tyler's gonna love that.
I mean, our friend Tyler is gonna
Yeah.
probably to like watch that 20 times, say it's like the best movie.
And Five Nights at Freddy's coming out.
I know that. Hey, the new trailer though, that looks good. I came in front, but my
Yeah.
only issue with this is it's gonna be PG-13. It's not gonna be
Yeah.
rated.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the Batman was PG-13. That was kind of graphic. So
Well,
let's
hopefully they toe the line of radar because I want to see. There's some scenes in that trailer like where someone gets picked up and
let's see a kid get eaten.
yeah, well, it was like she's like part of that hitchhiker group that's trying to break in, and we know all of them are gonna die like a gruesome way. We saw
Yeah,
Bonnie
girl.
like stab someone, like,
Yeah.
and we see already speaking. Okay, my only issue is like we already see Springtrap. Like, why is he already in this film? Like,
Yeah. No, when when you sent it in, Tyler and I watched it together, right when you sent it in, and he's not he's not there. He's not supposed to be there. Why is he there? Tyler like paused it and he was like, this is either going to be really cool or absolutely terrible because he is not supposed to be in this movie.
Well, the
He is
thing
not
is,
this one.
like the creator of the whole games is the major writer of the film. So this is what he wanted as the film. This is what
I
he
guess I
fought.
guess interesting.
Like he fought for this. This movie's been in development hell for the last 5 years. Like it's always had a new director, and he's been fighting for this exact movie. So
Mm,
like I guess if it's in Scott's hands, this is what he wants. And at first, I thought that was Mike's daughter, but after rewatching it, that's his sister Abby. So it
mm.
is like the games, but we all know what happens in the games to Sister Abby. So
Alright.
is what's the character that eats her alive? What was it?
Is it Freddy?
Wasn't Freddy? It was the girl in the one underground.
Mm,
I don't know what was it called.
I
But
forgot.
if there's no Markiplier cameo, I'm gonna riot. That's the
Yeah.
guy I watch. That's the guy I watch.
There
For
needs to be
Five Nights at Freddy's. Like I see
there.
all these YouTubers on the wall and the one driving the cab. I'm like, I don't know these guys. Where's Markiplier? Give me
Yeah,
a
we need Markiplier in there.
and Jacksepticeye. I need just one of them in there.
Jacksepticeye needs to be in there too. Maybe like just like on the screen, like
Like a little
flashes.
yeah. But like, I mean, I enjoyed that trailer and hey, Golden Freddy's helping Abby, like trying to die. Like I didn't expect Golden Freddy to be there right there, but I wonder if
Mhm.
we're gonna learn more about the franchise and lore in this film, or is it just gonna be
Yeah, I
just
don't know if it's canon because it's kind of just it seems like every idea thrown together.
yeah, I mean, I could work. I mean, I want like it didn't even say his real like the evil guy's name, the purple guy. It said like a fake name. I wonder if Tyler, I don't know, probably Tyler said something about that because it said something on the desk.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
I
I should have
could,
done like a trailer breakdown with T heads because I knew he would have been like,
you guys should set it up. He's got nothing to do.
I know. I'll probably do like probably do an instant react to him after we watch the FNAF movie. Make him watch
Yeah,
it with me.
yeah, no, he'll be all in on that.
But I don't know. Well, I'm gonna wrap this up, but I did enjoy Dial of Destiny. But my concluding thoughts is that they should have brought back some older characters. If they're saying this is the legend is back, they should have not introduced new characters. But I know that's Disney just fiddling in what they want to do with the franchise. So just in case if this movie was profitable, even though this was the most expensive one, which is at $300 million, it's only made 160 million in return. So they might use this movie as a tax write-off to make money back, but I'm not sure. But if the movie did do well, I bet you there would have been a Helena Shaw spinoff. But I'm kind of glad it's kind of flopping because I didn't really want to see that. But
Yeah.
my concludes on that. And if you have any comments or anything you want to talk about, you can.
Um, just to wrap up because this is about Dial of the Destiny and Indiana Jones. I know we went off on a big tangent there. Um, 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Good family movie.
Yeah.
Just a have fun movie. Not an Indiana Jones movie. Emphasis on that. It's not an Indiana Jones movie. He's
It's
in it,
just
but
another action adventure film, to be
just an
honest,
action adventure
with
movie.
the
So
Indiana Jones title. It's
exactly,
just
exactly. But it's a good family movie if you want to go with your family and have a good time. It's a good movie. It's a good experience, but it's not for people who want to go see Indiana Jones. Be Indiana Jones.
I honestly wonder how this movie would be in 4DX though. Would it make my experience better or
Hmm.
worse?
Yeah, maybe like the plane scene and
Train, the bomb, the
train,
car
and
sequence.
the car chase when the Moroccan guy is chasing her around who gave
This
her a
movie
ring.
used a lot more guns than like fist fights. That's another issue I
I
have.
can't believe Dr. Shaw shot the guy
Yeah,
on the train.
well, yeah, like Basil shot. He shot Harrison in the hand. Well, he caught it, but he
Yeah,
just, you know, but he also shot the guy. Yeah, I mean,
yeah. I was like, I don't remember a lot of guns going on in Indiana Jones. Maybe that's just me. Like, not
Oh,
knowing.
there's some guns, but it wasn't with the major characters. Like you had the minor characters, like the henchmen shooting the guns. Like you wouldn't.
Yeah,
No, it's just it
there
is.
was a lot of a lot of gun stuff in this.
Yeah, I mean, it is in the '60s, so time evolved. So yes, I can see
Yeah,
why.
yeah, you'd expect that, but
I
yeah,
mean,
that summarizes my conclusion.
that summarizes my conclusion of Dial of Destiny. Kurt, I had fun as you were my guest. If you let me know if you guys like having Kurt on the show with me, and Kurt, if you like, let me know what content you want to come back on. You probably want to come back on for Oppenheimer for
Oh,
sure,
100%.
or
100%.
you can just do a whole Christopher Nolan. I mean, honestly, a whole Christopher Nolan film, right? Because
It would take 5 hours. Holy cow.
some people like that type of content. I know this is already hitting like an hour and something minutes
We need to get Sean on there for that one.
on that one, or we can do a full Killian Murphy breakdown. And I know you were
Yeah.
probably like a man with all his notes for that.
Yep. But
But
yeah, it's
hope
been
you
great.
guys I hope you guys enjoyed this entertainment segment of entertainment experts, and hope you guys liked our opinions about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny and our ranking of the Indiana Jones franchise. Our opinions aren't the best opinions. We're just two people that enjoy entertainment and films and even TV shows. But don't come at us in the comments saying, "Oh, Kurt's stupid about Kingdom Crystal Skull being a one."
I'm expecting it.
But if you would like to leave a nice comment or even a bad comment, we'll comment back. I'll try to comment and we can talk peacefully about our opinions. But I hope you guys enjoy this video and come back and subscribe to the channel. And peace, guys.